In this video, I'm going to show you how to hook up Wi-Fi to your Raspberry Pi. Now, as you can see here, I have a Raspberry Pi 2. It has the Ethernet interface and 4 USB interfaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up this little USB Wi-Fi dongle to my Raspberry Pi so that I have wireless access. Now, the biggest reason I think you would use Wi-Fi, of course, is if you're going to mount this somewhere away from a network connection, if you're going to mount it in some other room of the house or something like that. So it's definitely worth the $10 to get a little dongle and set it up, and I'll show you how easy it is to set up here. Okay, now I'm logged into the Raspberry Pi through my network interface at this time. And what we can do to check our interfaces is just type in ifconfig. And as you can see here, I have my Ethernet interface and localhost interface. Now I've gone ahead and plugged in the Wi-Fi dongle, and we're going to get that set up. One thing you'll want to do is check by doing ls USB to make sure that it's plugged in. I can see here that I have my wireless adapters plugged in right there. Next, we're going to modify our interfaces file. And we do that by typing in sudo nano etc network interfaces. Now this is the default interfaces file, and we're going to want to focus on the WLAN 0 section here. So these two lines are okay. Here, instead of WPA conf, change that to Rome. And then this is the location of the WPA Supplicant Conf that we're going to be modifying next. And we'll go ahead and save this file. Now what I've done here is I put this as a default interface using DHCP. And now we can use this program called IWList to do a scan, and let's see if it'll scan. It looks like it does. One thing we can do is pipe it into grep. And this will show us available LANs that we can connect to. Now what I'm going to do is go into that WPA Supplicant Configuration file. Now in here we have these two lines that we're going to want to leave alone, but what we're going to want to do is create a network. And this is going to be the wireless network that you want to connect to. And I'm going to put in my SSID. My password. And then what type of key it is to connect. And then we'll save this file and exit. And now we're going to reboot the Pi. Now that we've rebooted, we'll SSH back into the Pi through the network interface. And now we'll type in ifconfig. And as you can see, our WLAN 0 has been assigned an IP address, and it looks to be up and running. So we'll open up another terminal window. And it looks like we're in. We'll go ahead and disconnect the network cable, which means this connection should now be dead, and it is. But here we are, SSH'd in over the wireless. And as I said, this makes your Raspberry Pi project a lot more portable if you can get in through wireless, and I prefer to do it through the command prompt, especially in this case my Raspberry Pi is running without a GUI. It's running headless, the Debian Jessie minimum, so it's not going to have a GUI to configure it in the first place. For this video, I used the CanaKit Raspberry Pi wireless adapter dongle. You can find a list of adapters that are available at elinux.org. Now, one of the cool things about that website is it shows you a full matrix of manufacturers and distributions they work with and some of the known problems. So definitely go and check out the elinux.org site.